everybody, it's the War Hipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting salamanders once more. Yes, at long last we're returning to the salamanders. We started a long time ago, and well, today we're painting the all-new Vulkan He'stan. Yes, courtesy of Games Workshop, who sent me this one early to build up and paint with all of you, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. So massive thank you to them for doing that, and well, we are going to jump in and we are going to start painting him. He has been primed in grey sear, and the colour that we're going to be using first is Karandras Green. We're going to be applying this over top of all of Vulkan's green armour. We're just going to start down here on the foot. We're just going to work our way up the model. Now, thankfully he's covered in a lot of trim and decoration and stuff. So there's lots of lovely recesses for this Karandras Green to escape into as we're going along. We still want to take it one section at a time and be nice and thorough and methodical, but once that's all done, we will come back. With another green. So with all that Karandras Green applied, we're then going to take some Warp Lightning. We're going to apply this over the top. So with that all done, our next colour is going to be some Black Legion. We're going to be applying this over a ton of details. So we're going to be applying this over the top of the belt and leather of the holster? Yes, that's what that is. We're going to be applying this over the top of any of the kind of gaps in his armour, and soft joints and stuff like that. We'll be applying this over the top of the Drake's head, up here on the flaming brazier. Applying it over the casing of the gun, over the top of his rebreather here, and so on and so forth. There's just a lot of black details here. The main one, of course, that I've forgotten to mention there is the backpack. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Berserker Bloodshade. We're going to apply this over top of all the scales and the outside of both the tabard and the cloaks. And with that Berserker Bloodshade applied, we're then going to take some Seraphim Sepia, and we're going to apply this over top of the kind of shoulders and the inside of the cloak and the tabard. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Flesh Tearers Red, and we're going to apply this over top of all of the scales on the cloaks. And with that, Flesh Tearer's Red applied. Whilst we're waiting for it to dry, we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Reikland Fleshshade to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. We're going to apply this over top of the inside of the cloak. And so with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Flesh Tearer's Red. I'm going to apply this over the top of all of the outside of the cloaks. Now we are going to do just a little bit of blending here. Around the shoulders. We want to just get this over like that. And then over the shoulders here, apply this like so. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and then just around here I'm just going to lift it off like that. And so with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 2 parts Lahmian Medium to 1 part Black Templar mix. I'm going to apply this over top of the skin of the cloak. With that all done, we're then going to take some neat Black Templar, no thinning down whatsoever. And we're going to apply this over top of the grips of the spear. With that all done, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. We're going to apply this over top of the parchments. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Cygor Brown and we're going to apply this over top of the 2 little trophies up here and here. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Dark Angel's Green and we're going to apply this over top of the wax seal. So with that all done, at this point you've probably made a bunch of mistakes on the flames like I have. You can see there's little dots of various Reikland Fleshshade and Seraphim Sepia. So what we're going to do is we're going to correct all the flames. We're actually going to re-base coat them into something that's going to be a little bit warmer for all the flames. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Wraithbone, and we're going to apply this over top of all of our hot bits. So this is going to be this flame down here. We've got the one at the top, up there. We've got all of these ones and these ones, but the other area that we're also going to apply this over top of is the blade. So with that all done, just on the spearhead, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Casandora Yellow. We're going to apply this over the top. For all our other flames, what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 colours. Imperial Fist, Gryph-Hound Orange, Blood Angels Red, and Black Legion. I'm going to be applying this over the top of all of them. So we're going to start with this one up the top here. I'm going to take that Imperial Fist and we're going to just apply this over the top of all of the flame, like this. There we go. And then once that's done, wash the brush. Grab some Gryph-Hound Orange, and then I'm going to apply this over the top. Of the flames, like so. Wash the brush, grab some Blood Angels Red, and then I'm going to apply this over the top. Once again, wash the brush, and then we grab a little bit of Black Legion, and just towards the tips of the flames we add the Black Legion, like so. Then we wash the brush once more, grab a bit of Gryph-Hound Orange, and use this to just move all those paints together. Like that sort of thing. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Gryph-Hound Orange on its own, and we're going to apply this over the top of the spear tip. We're going to do some blending here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the tip of the blade. We're going to bring it down to around about the top of that furthest forward power node. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're going to blend it. Just like that. It will create this kind of sort of craggy sort of edge. That's kind of what we want. Just there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. And so with that all done, we then want to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Blood Angels Red and Lahmian Medium. And we're going to apply this in much the same way, only this time what we're looking for is a much smoother blend. So we're going to apply this over the top of around about a third of the blade, nowhere near as much as we did with the Gryph-Hound Orange. Wash the brush, and then touch off the water. And then we want to blend this Get a nice smooth transition. And what you should see is that the Gryph-Hound Orange starts to get a kind of darker underneath. This kind of fade with the red. Just like that sort of thing. And so with that all done, we are then going to take some Black Legion. And what we're going to do is over the top of the edge of the blade, we're going to start stippling by just dabbing it on. Like so. And then around the tip. And then I'm going to bring it up the tang. Just a little bit. Just like that sort of thing. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Fuegan Orange. Not very much of this here at all. We're going to apply this over top of all of the flames, including the blade, just to kind of tie all these colours together. So with that all done, we're now going to work on those metallics, and the first of these is going to be some thinned down Retributor Armour. I'm going to be applying this over the top of all of Vulkan's trim and decorative bits that are going to be gold. The only part we're going to avoid for now is the bottom of the cloak down here. So with all that Retributor Armour applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. We're going to apply this over top of the mechanical areas of the gun. Like that one there. We're going to apply this over top of all of the remaining details on the spear. We're going to apply it over the top of this little chain. Just here. And over the mechanical details of the backpack. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Castellax Bronze. And we're going to apply this over the top of the cylinder here. Like so. And apply this over the top of the heat shield of the weapon there. And we're going to use this over the top of that trim on the inside of the cloak. It is a cloak. So with that all done, we're now going to add some shades to the model. Not that we haven't been doing that all the way through, but what we're going to do is we're going to take some Reikland Fleshshade. We're going to apply this over the top of all the gold. And with all that Reikland Fleshshade applied, we're then going to take some Berserker Bloodshade, and we're going to apply this over top of the Castellax Bronze. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. I'm going to use this to shade all of the white details, which are the two salamanders logos basically here and on the belt. We're also going to be applying this over the top of all of the black and over the top of all the silver. And so with that all done, we're then going to take a tiny amount of Bad Moon Yellow. We're just going to drop this over the top of the eye lenses. So with that all done, Vulkan is now what I would call a War Hipster battle ready. He's looking pretty good. However, we're not going to leave him there, of course not. We're going to take him to the next level. I'm going to do this by adding some layers and some highlights. Now the first of these is going to be a highlight, and it's going to be some thinned down Moot Green. I'm going to use this to highlight all the green armour. So with all that Moot Green applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Phalanx Yellow. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to all that green. So just picking out those sharpest corners. So with that all done, we actually also applied that Phalanx Yellow over the top of the middle of the eye lenses as well. But what we're going to do now is move on. I'm going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh, and over the top of the kind of raised areas, not the inside of the cloak, but this sort of section and the outside on the back, I'm going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh, and we're basically going to use this to pretty much fully relayer these parts of the fabric. So with that all done, our next colour is going to be some thinned down Wraithbone. I'm going to be using this to highlight this cloak, but we're also going to use this to highlight the parchments. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Wazdakka Red. And we're going to use this to highlight all of our scales. Now this will take a little while, but it is absolutely worth it once we've done it. But if you want to speed things up, you could always dry brush here. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Cadian Fleshtone. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to all of those scales. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Karak Stone. And we're going to use this to highlight the cloak. So with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to pick out all the details on the two white bits, which is these two designs here and here. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Yriel Yellow and we're going to thin it down with 4 or 5 parts water to make a kind of almost glaze consistency out of the yellow. And we're going to use this to now just kind of punch in a little bit brightness into any of the areas where we've got some flames, where we want to just have a little bit of extra yellow. So for example, around here, up on the top, and on the blade itself. Because it's so thin, if you just need to wick some of it off, you can just wash the brush like I did there and just wipe it away. So with that Yriel Yellow glaze applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Dorn Yellow. I'm going to use this to highlight the power nodes on the spear. Like so. And we're going to use this to add a little highlight towards the base of the tang of the blade. So with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. This might seem a bit of a hard turn, but trust me, it's related. We're going to be using this Dawnstone to highlight just the tip of the blade, like so. And we're also going to use this to highlight all the other black details as well. Now, one thing that's slightly different is we're going to be highlighting only the under half of the logo up here. The top half we're just going to leave for the moment. And with all that Dawnstone applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey. I'm going to use this to pick out the sharpest parts of all of that black. So once again on the spear, it's a little too heavy, so just wipe that off. I'm just going to add a little dot to the tip. Like that sort of thing. And then for the rest of it, I'm just going to pick out the corners. But again, I'm just going to leave the top of that flaming one at the top. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Mephiston Red. I'm going to thin it down just a little bit more than we would normally. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some kind of smouldering areas to the black. So we're going to add some of this here in the depths of the rebreather. Like that sort of thing. I'm going to add this in the recesses on the spear as well. Just in a few little places. It will initially look quite bright, but it will darken down. Ooh, missed one of the vents. Like so. And what we're going to do with the Mephiston Red is we're going to use this to highlight the top half of the head up here. So with that all done, I'm now going to do something a lot simpler but a lot longer, which is to take some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the gold. So with all that Liberator Gold applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver. And so with that all done, it is now time to finish off Vulkan by taking some thinned down Runelord Brass. I'm going to use this to highlight the Castellax Bronze bits. And there we have it, with the base now complete with some Stirland Mud, Tyrant Skull and some tufts from Gamer's Grass. Vulkan He'stan is now finished. The first of many new Space Marine characters, which I hope to get my hands on. I'm really looking forward to the others. I enjoyed this one, but we've done him before. Same for Lysander. But I'm looking forward to more Space Marines, and well, I think this is a nice rendition. He's cool. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.